Alright, I've got this set of data here, so it's celery is categorized by gender. I'm going to show you how to do a few histograms. It's just made up data. So here we go. First things first, you need to set up your intervals. So minimum, I'm just putting a title in, equals min. With brackets, I select there, drag down, and close brackets. Then the maximum value equals max. Note, I haven't worried about ordering them because I'm not finding the median or anything. Okay, so range is equal to max minus min. Okay, so 75,000 difference, but I want intervals of 10, and so I'm going to round this up to 80,000, so I'd expect 8 in 8 classes. Okay, so I'm just going to go up here, put a title intervals, and I'm going to start with the lowest number, which is 45,000, and I'm going to go to less than 55,000. So classes of intervals of 10. So this would be 55,000 to less than 65,000, and so on. So that's all we need for that. I'm just going to widen that by clicking twice right in that position. And then the thing with Excel is they do bins rather than, and their intervals are called bins, and they're quite weird because they're different to what we have here, because they include the 55,000, but they don't include the 45,000. So to compensate for that, we're going to take this last number and we're going to subtract 1, so it'll be 54,999. This will be last number minus 1, so 64,999. And then I'm going to select on them, get the little black plus sign, click and drag, and that continues the pattern all the way up to 124,999. So the way Excel will look at this is that this interval would be and it would be above 54999 to 64999 inclusive, which will give you the same effect of this interval that this interval does. Okay, so now next step is to create the histogram. We go to data. You should have the data analysis toolpack already set up. If not, you're going to have to download it, which I'll find a video for. Okay, so press on that histogram, select the data set, full data set, so we'll do a histogram for all salaries. Bin range, we select all of them, click and drag, enter. Output range, that's just where you're going to put your table. Let's just put it there. And we want a chart output ticked, so we go OK. So it's not quite a histogram yet, there's a few things we need to do. First thing we're going to do here is Control X and move that up 1 so that we've got a space here. We don't need that. We don't need the 0 there, but it's not going to hurt just leaving it. Now we can press on there and right click, and we want to find select data. We go to frequency, press that, edit, select this. So this is these here. So we want to select one above and one below. Press enter. OK. Now we want to change our titles. Instead of having these bodgy bin numbers, we want to have these interval numbers that we set up. So we go ahead and we need first. Let's just say OK for now. So we've changed the data. We need to move this down one. Okay, so now we can go in, right click again, select data. This should be already the way we wanted it. Yep, it's already right because we saved it. Okay, now labels. Select on that, pick above and one below. Okay, so that now should match when we drag this out. Those are in line with the bars still, so that's, we haven't made a mistake. Select on there now, right click, no, double click, yeah, double click, press on this chart here. We want to get rid of the gap width to 0 because histograms don't have gaps. So see how we've got this space before and after? That's why we did this above and below, above and below. Okay, so now we don't need that. Oh, we'll get rid of the bin, we'll get rid of frequency. We can change this to salary, all gender. Alright, and that is your first histogram. Now, second histogram, we will look at females. We're going to use the same bin so that we can line the histogram up under this and compare it. So, data analysis histogram, okay. All we need to change is the actual data set. So, just worried about the ones that are female now. So this is a way that you can split up your categories to have a look at different categories. Enter. The bin range is still the same, so we don't have to worry about that. Output range, we need to choose a different position, so we'll choose here. And chart output is ticked, so that's all we need. Okay, so let's make that the same size for starters, roughly. Now, first things first, we need to move this up one to create that space so that we can select above and below. Now we select anywhere there, right click, select data over here, edit, select there, and we're selecting above and one below. Okay, now here we want, instead of these values, we want to have fancy labels for intervals. Select above and below so that they match up. Okay. Alright, so nearly there. Now, let's make that a bit taller. Oops. Let's get rid of the bin, get rid of the frequency, select on this, double click, chart, gap width is 0, or you could just put a 0 in there, it's up to you. So we name this as salary female, or something like that, whatever you choose. So as you can see, we've got our, you need to actually do your calculations and verify that this is correct. Do your counts and show us. Okay, so now let's look at males. So data analysis, histogram, okay. We want to select the male data now. Enter. Bins should be the same. Change the position down here. And we want to chart. So let's just drag that down and make it the same width. Get rid of the frequency and bin them over here. Pick on, right click, select data, and we want to change this first. If we wanted to, we can just select there and there, couldn't we? But we'll do it properly. Go out of there, cut, paste. Okay, select, right click, data, edit. We want to select above and below. Okay, then we want to change the labels so that they are our interval labels. Select above and below so they match. Okay. Alright, so almost there. All we need to do now is get rid of that gap width. Okay. If you want to change the colours, you can. I'm not going to go pink for female. I like green, so I'm going to go green. And the boys can be pink if they want. Let's just make it red, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, so that is how you can look at histograms. If you have a look, they line up. This will line up with that. That will line up with that because you made them exactly the same size. You made them exactly the same intervals.